What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Shalua back again with another video. And I wanted to react to Candace Owens exposing John F. Kennedy's blackmail operation. In this video, she's saying that he has a sex scandal, which I've heard of before, but not to this depth. But basically, he's saying that he has a sex scandal that is linked to Israel blackmailing him in order to push their agenda while he's I think he's the Secretary of Health or Minister of Health, something like that. But let's go ahead and get into the video.
A weird set of attacks because I'm going, what does Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Ian Carroll have in common? Especially to then say something as petty as I'm copying her and trying to rebrand. That in and of itself to me registered as a conspiracy, because something you should know about neocons, the forever war, send American sons and daughters to die perpetually overseas, in lands and territories that they don't recognize, is that one thing that they have in common is that you must worship Israel, the foreign state. And here you have three independent voices who are being smeared and libel, who don't do that, and who truly are not being controlled by anybody else, despite the implications of these pieces. And
That's true. Anytime you go against Israel, you're going to get attacked and called an anti-Semite. And Candace and Tucker Carlson, they have been pushing against the narrative lately, especially Candace Owens. I'm scared of her. She got into it with that Rabbi Shmuley guy maybe a year ago, and she's doing well on the platform, but her voice is becoming so loud that she might be in some dangerous waters. But I'll let it continue.
And when she was revealed of who was overseeing this piece and who was going to personally edit it, we found out that this person was Olivia Nuzzi. Clean shot, Olivia Nuzzi said. It needs to be a clean shot. They are speaking like they are an assassination hit squad. Who is this human being? Who is Olivia Nuzzi? Why is she calling shots, clean shots, on people like Candace Owens and directing and being some ghost hand behind the scenes? And it's not, once you understand who Olivia Nuzzi is, shocking that she would go after Tucker Carlson. What's rather shocking is that Jessica Reed Krause is bragging about how close she is to Donald Trump while having a person who is taking shots at real conservatives in this country. So I'm going to tell you about Olivia Nuzzi. She was a correspondent for New York Magazine. Yes, the one that we just uncovered, that whole weird pedophile senior writer sympathizer. She was a correspondent for New York Magazine from 2017 to 2024. So
Who is Candace Owens' team? They are cold. The stuff they find and the digging, that's it. They should be on the news. Candace Owens should have a daytime television show every day that we tune in, because the way she's able to dig and her team is able to find stuff and how she presents it, especially like when she did the Kamala Harris background and find out who her people were and all this. Girl code.
she had quite a long tenure there. And so, yeah, she had quite a long tenure at New York Magazine until in September of 2024, New York Magazine had to place her on leave after it was disclosed that she was having an affair with RFK Jr. Now, they both maintained at the time that this was clearly a sexting affair. But the other element of this is super interesting. Olivia, currently living in Malibu, which means now she doesn't live in a city, which means now she's got to drive a car.
Can y'all imagine uh RFK? His voice is crazy. I would like to get him having an affair. I don't even know how, like, him talking to a woman. It's got to be crazy. That is, it's got to be through text. He got to text everything because that voice is not sexy.
Is driving a car. She's driving a foreign car in Malibu, and her license plates, and I'm not giving you the end of the license plates, but her real true license plates are, and I can show you here, RFK 66 blank blank.
Wow.
Hmm. That is some coincidence. I gotta tell you, okay? Like, I gotta tell you, it's a weird thing. Like, it's not every day that your license plates reflect the sexting scandal that you just had, okay? It's not every day. Who purchased this foreign car? Who got this car to Malibu? Okay, it's a British car.
RFK out here buying cars. That thing must be good. Hey, he buying cars. Got he ain't or that it must be his car. He gave her, and it's an oldie car too. So it costs some money. My boy is in there deep.
And your license plates are RFK and some numbers. So we discussed yesterday how we all kind of know who killed JFK, but we keep doing this weird song and dance in America, like no, it's awkward. We don't want to say, well, things are adding up, and we've always known, like, we weren't really waiting for the release of these files to vindicate us. It's very clear. Why else would you lock something down for this long? It's very clear who was involved. And the weirdest song and dance and all that we're all doing at the moment is pretending that RFK Jr.'s unflinching loyalty and, quite frankly, his fear of saying anything negative about Israel is not bizarre.
If y'all don't know, the files of who killed John F. Kennedy, his uncle, came out, and Israel and the CIA seem to have collaborated in taking him out. But most people aren't really saying that the Israeli government is the ones who did it, because that's kind of like a sin in America to accuse Israel of any wrongdoing to America. But that's what Candace Owens is alleging that.
Okay. I'm going to pull up Dave Smith here. Dave Smith has been just an incredible powerhouse. He was majorly supportive of RFK Jr. as a candidate, saying essentially, because he's moderate, like, I like him because he doesn't like war. Like, he is a libertarian, and he has been a leader in the libertarian movement for quite some time, Dave Smith. And he got behind RFK until he didn't. He felt like it was very weird that RFK had just this blind spot for Israel. It was weird to him. And he calls him out. He called him out right to his face. Skylar, let's pull that up. Dave Smith just calling out RFK Jr. for this, like, remarkable hypocrisy while pretending to be anti-war, but also simultaneously, like, unwilling to say anything about the state of Israel.
It is the worst humanitarian catastrophe in the world
You can take
right
me out of
now.
this.
And the idea that you, who are supposed to be the anti-neocon, anti-war presidential candidate, are immediately on October 7th, before we even had an investigation, before we even knew what happened there, you immediately say, what basically you said everything they say about Ukraine. You said it was an unprovoked attack. Which, like, come on, give me a break. An attack from Gaza against Israel is unprovoked. And then you said, we have to support them in whatever it takes. Well, look, sir, we're watching it right now. This is whatever it takes. Just women and children dying under rubble. Every day you can't go on social media without seeing another video of some baby dying. This is what we're supposed, after the last 20 years of disastrous wars, we got to support the next one.
Look at RFK. He like, damn, he going in on me. My boy, Dave Smith. I've seen his podcast, and I think RFK has been on there a few times. But he is going in, and you can tell he is uncomfortable.
Right? I mean, sir, this is like a biblical level of evil. And why? Why should we as Americans have to fund this? Why should we have to give them a blank check? I'm sorry, it's been long enough.
That's facts. Why should we keep giving our money? I believe, what is it like? It used to be like $12 billion a year going to Israel. And I know a lot of conservatives will say we need to cut funding to Ukraine and to Africa and all these other places for the U.S. aid, but you'll never hear them say cut funding to Israel. We need. I'm okay with giving money, or not giving money, but there should be an exchange, right? If we're going to support African countries, we shouldn't be propaganding them with transgender studies by giving them money. It should be some sort of trade. We should have deals. Give us some gold because they got plenty of it. Let's work together. Let's have a collaborative effort. We don't have to just give out money and call it aid, because what they're doing is just taking that money and hiding it into different programs that goes back into Congress because they're getting kickbacks and all this other stuff. But Israel, I don't know what we benefit from them. I don't, you know, they don't really do much. So they're just there. They just exist and they bully people in the Middle East.
And RFK didn't have an acceptable answer, and that was something that was one of the reasons why he was just not going to be vocal in his support. Dave Smith was not going to be vocal in his support of RFK Jr., but he said the biggest thing was just the fact that he was hanging around Rabbi Shmuley. I mean, like, this is like a thing that everybody just agrees on. He is just a filthy, disgusting human man, and he made him a part of his campaign. This is a person who openly blackmails people. He's being sued right now from a wealthy Jewish family down in Miami for trying to extort them. He deals in extortion and blackmail in broad daylight and tried to extort the owners of Fontainebleau by calling them Nazi sympathizers, everything that he did to me and everyone. He was just like a smear merchant. And RFK Jr. is just buddy with him. How weird. And when I got into my most viral debate last year with him, and I just let Rabbi Shmuley be Rabbi Shmuley. I kind of just sat back and watched him be a demon. RFK Jr. randomly tweeted right after this debate, which everyone was just like, yeah, he got what he deserved. He's disgusting. Like, nobody was defending Rabbi Shmuley. Nobody. RFK Jr. comes to his defense and spoke about the troubling rise of anti-Semitism. You got to watch this debate because he did not, in RFK Jr.'s tweet, it was almost like someone just took his phone and said, this is what you got to do. You know, I control you, man. So he goes on to this and talks about anti-Semitism, but here's where it gets interesting because this is before he got into office. Now RFK is in office, and I'm thinking, okay, he had to defend his Rabbi Shmuley buddy who just got destroyed in a debate, but he's kind of made anti-Semitism his focus. This is a tweet from him that he recently sent out.
Let's read. Okay.
Anti-Semitism, like racism, is a spiritual and moral malady that sickens societies and kills people with lethalities comparable to history's most deadly plagues. In recent years, the censorship and false narratives of woke cancel culture have transformed our great universities into greenhouses for this deadly and virulent pestilence. Making America healthy means building communities of trust and mutual respect based on speech freedom and open debate. And then
y'all let me know what that has to do with him being the over the health department, because I never knew what an anti-Semite was until I was an adult. I didn't know that was a thing. It sounds silly though because they don't include the other Shemitic groups into being anti-Semitic. They only include the European Jews in Israel.
included a link to the hhs.gov. So that's weird. And then he's decided that anti-Semitism is a health crisis. Like, this is not what we put you. This is just not what we put you in office for. I don't care who needs to debate any of this, other than this is not what people put you in office for. We wanted you to go after vaccines. We wanted you to go after the CDC. We did not want you to establish anti-Semitism as a health crisis.
Facts.
And The Atlantic was right when they wrote this headline: make public health officials stay in their lane again. Fighting anti-Semitism isn't RFK Jr.'s job. Yes, that is correct. What are we even speaking about here? Why is RFK Jr. feel like he's just being moved by Rabbi Shmuley in the background and not focused on what we put him in office for? Why is RFK Jr. not the first person that's all over the JFK files? If he's going to do some outside work outside of focusing on health, and he's really worried and wants to dedicate his time, I would think maybe looking into the JFK files and giving us some sort of a conclusion on what he thinks could be interesting, but that's not what he's doing. And so what's interesting is I have begun to wonder who's got something on RFK Jr. And indeed, as I said, because Olivia Nuzzy's got a big mouth when she's not busy hunting big buck, there is some interesting stories that are circulating in the background. And it does, again, at least according to what is circulating all throughout the PR world, thanks to Olivia Nuzzy, and she wants to make sure she protects RFK. She's made that clear. She wants to protect RFK. She doesn't want this stuff made public. Is that there's some sexual blackmail in the background that's going on, some sexual interest in the background that's going on. And let me tell you, if Olivia Nuzzy knows it, we could guess that some other people know it. And I'm willing to guess a guy like Rabbi Shmuley would make sure that he knows it. And so I'm just finding this whole thing and the stuff that I've heard about RFK Jr. and the stuff that I know Olivia Nuzzy has on him to be interesting in the context of the fact that she's operating hit pieces against conservatives. She hates Donald Trump, and yet she's chummy with someone who is within striking distance from Donald Trump. I find all of this to be very interesting. It's just should be publicized that there's weird sexual blackmail.
Wow. All right, guys. So this girl, Olivia Nuzzi, allegedly sleeping with RFK, giving him that sloppy toppy and that guap guap 9,000. It's crazy. And it being leaked out, at least Candace says that there's a video or some type of deeper, you know, more than just sexting. We'll say that probably Israel or Rabbi Shmuley, who's a Jewish guy, who may be in cahoots with the Israeli government and using blackmail to get RFK to do the bidding of. So I don't know if you ever, RFK's been going on like a little tour. He keeps incorporating uh, anti-Semitism into health issues, which we elected him to be in there as, someone who's going to fight the food dyes and the bad stuff that's in our foods, all of the stuff they're putting in the chickens and so on and so forth, which I think he still may do. But the extra stuff, trying to fight anti-Semitism, that's the same type of fight as trying to fight racism. It's a never-ending battle because you can always label something racist or anti-Semitic based on how you feel, and we know feelings are not facts. So there's that. But y'all let me know in the comments below. Do you think RFK is being blackballed, not blackballed, but do you think he's being blackmailed by the Israeli government? And do you think he'll be an asset to the American people? Y'all give me in the comment section below, and I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Peace.